Welcome to Sheet Director. We're excited to introduce our innovative Google Workspace add-on. Simplify data exchange between apps with Sheet Director, query data, post info from Sheets to apps, and keep everything in sync. In this video, we will see how Sheet Director can help you to automate the integration between Google Sheets and Toggl. Let's launch Sheet Director and choose Toggl from the available list of applications. To connect this application, we need to provide an API key. To get the credentials, log into your Toggl. Click on your profile, choose Profile Setting, scroll down, and you will see the API key. Click on Reveal to view the API key and copy the API key. You can use the existing one or reset it to generate a new key. Toggl is connected now. I will name the service as Time Entries Query Service. I'll then choose the service named Query, which gets the time entries from Toggl. Now I will choose the time entries object, and then choose the start date and end date, and then select the required fields from the fields list. Additionally, I'll also set the max results to 15, limiting the time entries data to 15. For the destination settings, I'll select the Query Time Entries Sheet tab to present all the values from Toggl. By default, it begins from cell A1. Also, we have the option to create a new sheet by clicking on the plus icon. And turn on or off the Include header and Clear Sheet before getting the time entries. I will proceed to execute by clicking on the Execute button. Upon successful execution, we can see that the chosen fields from the list are effectively brought from Toggl and seamlessly presented within the selected sheet. Now, let's look at how to create Toggl time entries from Google Sheets. Now, let's do another service and name Toggl Post Service for creating the Toggl time entries from the sheet. I will choose the Post service. Then I will select a time entries entity from the list. At this point, I can use an existing template or set up the process manually. For now, I'll opt for the template. Applying the template will automatically populate sample data to the spreadsheet, and it will establish automatic mapping using the template. This mapping guides us on where to place the resulting information in the status and result columns. In the sheet, you'll notice columns labeled Status and Result. These fields will provide you with the status of the posted records. If these fields are not there, these can be easily created by clicking on the plus button or choosing from the column drop-down. The mapping aligns the fields between the sheet and the Toggl. We can manually map by using the column drop-down. To create a new mapping, you can simply click on the plus icon. Deleting a field mapping is as easy as clicking the delete icon above each mapped field, except for mandatory fields. Feel free to use this sample template data and make any necessary updates. Now, I will proceed to execute by clicking on the Execute button. Initially, the status in the status column will indicate Ready to Post. Upon execution, the Execution Control panel will appear and tell us how many records are ready to post in Toggl. At this point, we have two options, Post Now and Close. I will click on Post Now, which will create time entries in Toggl. After successful execution, each record will be updated individually in the status and result columns. You can also see the links to the created Toggl time entries. Clicking on these links will allow us to view the newly created time entries. Let's prepare a new service named Sync Time Entries. This synchronizes the time entries between Google Sheets and Toggl. I'll choose Synchronize as a service type. The synchronized service allows users to automatically synchronize the data between Google Sheets and Toggl. I'll choose the time entries object from the list and then select the necessary fields from the provided fields list. To ensure efficiency, I'll set the max results to 15, restricting to only 15 Toggl time entries. The synchronization process requires the synchronize keys to match rows in Google Sheets with corresponding data in Toggl. You must select the synchronized keys in the fields list. It is essential to note that these keys are mandatory for the synchronization to occur. When there is a conflict between different data in Google Sheets and Toggl for the same data, either side needs to be overwritten to maintain synchronization. You can opt for either Toggl wins or Google Sheet wins to choose which data to keep. In the Toggl wins scenario, the most recent data from Toggl will overwrite and update the corresponding time entries in Google Sheets. On the other hand, in the Google Sheet wins, the most recent data from Google Sheets will overwrite and update the corresponding data in Toggl. First, let me choose Google Sheet wins. Regarding the synchronization sheet, I will opt for the Sync Time Entries sheet tab, and by default, it will begin from cell A1. After configuring the service, let us execute by clicking on the Execute button. The execution control panel will appear. If no records are found in the Google Sheets to synchronize, then the sheet director will get the time entries for us. A prompt will appear, posing the question, "Your Google Sheet seems to be empty. Do you want to get the records from Toggl first?" At this point, two options will be presented, Get Now or Close. You have to select the Get Now option, which will fetch the time entries from Toggl. As mapping is supported at Sync service, mapping aligns the fields between the synchronization sheet and the Toggl. So now as it's asking for intelligent mapping, I will select Yes. So it will automatically map both app fields and sheet fields. We can manually map by using the column drop-down. To create a new mapping, you can simply click on the plus icon and select Field. If you already have Toggl data in Google Sheets, then you need to select or establish columns to display synchronization status and results. By clicking the plus symbol, I will add the status and result columns to the sheet and make any necessary updates to update the time entries. For some of the time entries, I will update the time entries description. You can see the current time entries name value of one of the time entries in Toggl. Subsequently, I will click the Execute button. Upon successful execution, the execution control panel will reappear with synchronization details. Number of new records found in Toggl. Total records that are ready to synchronize from the Google Sheet. How many records will be updated in Toggl from the total records? Additionally, I will be asked, "Are you okay to synchronize?" This query is accompanied by two buttons, Sync Now and Close. I will opt for the Sync Now button. Throughout the execution process, each record will be updated individually within Toggl. Upon successful update, the status column in Google Sheets will depict the status of the data. Newly updated data will be marked as synced successfully, while pre-existing data will be indicated as already synchronized. We can see the updated time entries in Toggl. Now, let me choose Toggl Wins. With the Toggl Wins option, recent data of Toggl will be updated in Google Sheets. I will clear both the status and result column values to get new updates of records. To test this, I will change the time entries description of one of the time entries to date formatting issues. Now it should update the recent value from Toggl. Regarding the synchronization sheet, I will keep the same Sync Time Entries sheet tab, and by default, it will begin from cell A1. After configuring the settings, let us execute by clicking on the Execute button. After executing, the execution control panel will appear and show all the information regarding the update. If the selected sheet is empty, the sheet director will get data. I will again click on the Sync Now button to continue the synchronization. Throughout the successful execution process, each record will be updated individually. We can notice that the value on Google Sheets is replaced by the recent values from Toggl irrespective of the update made on the Google Sheets. Also, the new time entries data will be fetched from Toggl if we have added new time entries to Toggl. Until this point, we observed the synchronization of Toggl time entries originating from cell A1. Now, let's modify the cell value to E5 and select another empty sheet for testing, and proceed with the synchronization process. If no records are found in the Google Sheets to synchronize, then the sheet director will get the time entries data for us. I will click the Get Now button to get Toggl time entries. If you already have Toggl time entries data in Google Sheets, then you need to establish the status and result column for synchronization. Upon successful execution, the execution control panel will reappear with the synchronization details. I will click on the Sync Now button to continue the synchronization. After successful synchronization, you can see the status of each record individually in the Google Sheets. In this way, you can synchronize data from any part of your Google Sheets. With Sheet Director, you effortlessly harness the magic of Toggl time entries. Seamlessly query, display, and transform your Toggl time entries data right within Google Sheets. Experience the future of organization and data synergy with the Sheet Director. Thanks for watching the video.